to enforce existing laws. That more laws are needed, but what is needed is more resources to enforce existing laws. Many in this industry knew that they were dealing with worthless paper. They had even names for the paper. They had mortgages like ninja loans, no income, no job. When these are passed off as AAA assets, someone has committed common law fraud. I believe that federal mail and wire fraud criminal statutes should be sufficient to address the problem. Those penalties for those violations are substantial. Mail and wire fraud violations carry a maximum penalty of 20 years, and any mail or wire fraud that affects a financial institution increases that maximum sentence to 30 years. And it's just not mail and wire fraud that's at the disposal of federal prosecutors. The FBI itself has identified 9 applicable federal criminal statutes for which those committing the fraud may be charged. In addition to the federal criminal law, these crimes can also be aggressively prosecuted by state and local law enforcement officials under aggressive and very punitive state criminal law provisions as well. So it seems that we may have enough in the way of criminal code provisions, but what we need is to make sure that we have adequate resources to state and federal authorities to battle fraud, and we need to ensure that the federal authorities are also coordinating their activities with local and state officials. So, Mr. Chairman, what we need to do is find out what resources law enforcement officials need to prosecute the fraud, whether it's consumer ID theft, contracting fraud in Iraq, or even mortgage fraud before us today. I was happy to see that the 2009 Omnibus Appropriations Act provided $10 million to the FBI to dedicate additional agents to the mortgage fraud investigations. I'm also supportive of other bills that provide more resources in this area. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, I support more resources for the Department of Justice to assist the FBI and the states in enforcing fraud laws to recover the billions of dollars that have been lost. We also need to make sure that we have in place the prosecution and investigations to prevent these same schemes from happening in the future. Today's hearing is an opportunity to fully discuss these issues, and I look forward to hearing the witnesses today. And I thank you again, Mr. Chairman, for your relentless action to make sure that the public is actually protected. Thank you, and I yield back.